Hey, Board Gamers, BJ from Game Gumbo here. I've got my guest Connie N, the designer of Apiary and Wyrmspan, and she's played a game that Steve and I have not played, and I am super jealous. Tell us, Connie, please, Connie Vogelmann, tell us about Sky Team.
Yeah, so Sky Team is a two-player cooperative dice game where you are trying to land a plane. The theming might be a little bit loose because you are a pilot and a co-pilot who are somehow not allowed to talk to each other. But you're basically you both roll dice, you put them behind some player screens, and then you have kind of a series of challenges and a series of tasks to do. So basically you want to land the plane on the correct runway at the right point in time. You have to still have your fuel. You have to put your landing gears down. You don't want the plane to be tilting, and so on and so forth. And so it's a series of puzzles. And when I first heard about the game, I was a little bit not super excited about it just because I don't tend to like cooperative games very much. I tend to not be like the most co-op focused person, although I love Gloomhaven and Frosthaven. But in general, I tend to be a little bit cooler on co-op games. But my husband was interested in trying it, and I said, okay, sure, why not? Let's give it a shot. And I've really, really enjoyed it. We've made it through, I think, the 6 or 7 easy scenarios, and we're going to start working our way into the mediums. The book that comes with the game comes with, I think, 15 or 20 scenarios, something like that. And then I think you can do more online, and each one is just a slightly different puzzle. But I think the coolest part about it, and I think part of the reason that I really like it, is because you can't talk. And I think the reason that I'm often a little bit cool on co-op games is because there's often a talking phase where you spend 5 minutes talking and debating, and I don't have the most patience for things like that. And so I really like the idea that you have to do all of your communicating by which dice you place where and when you do it in the round, because you basically alternate placing dice. And so you can...
Is this true? David says you're the pilot, he's the co-pilot. Is that right?
That's how we set up the game, and we've just stuck with it.
Is this basically Captain Sully, the board game? Is that what this is, Steve? You remember Sully,
Sully Sullenberger, the board game?
the one that landed it in the Hudson River?
It was the Potomac, or was it the Potomac? No, I don't remember. But
Hudson, I think.
No, Hudson. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Hudson.
It's the whatever one goes all the way to Montreal. I can't remember which river it is, but I think it's the Hudson. But
yeah, I think the Hudson's right.
BJ, your geographic knowledge.
No, I'm looking at this game board. This looks very appropriately thematic.
It does.
Well, and I will say another thing about it too is just it takes 2 minutes to set up, 2 minutes to tear down. I think David taught it to me in 5 minutes, and I don't even think there's any hyperbole there. I mean, it's a very, very simple concept with very interesting decisions, and I think especially for sort of a weeknight game, when you don't have a lot of time, it's just absolutely perfect, and you can crank out 2 or 3 scenarios back to back pretty quickly. So we've been really enjoying it, and I said I think that sort of non-stated communication is just really interesting, because like deciding when you're going to place the dice to communicate what you need to do to your partner is, I think it's just a really interesting puzzle. So highly recommend if anyone has even a kind of a passing interest to check it out. It's definitely worth it.
So do we need to be in? I love aviation, by the way, and it comes from my dad. We love planes. Do I need to be that though? Are people that are not into aviation still going to like this game?
I mean, I'm not into aviation. I'll also mention that we have a friend who's a pilot and was actually getting a little bit thrown off by it, because I think for folks who are non-pilots and non-aviation aficionados, really enjoy it, and it feels very thematic to us. But I think if you actually have that like very deep subject matter expertise, I think this actually might throw you a little bit. At least that's what I've heard.
Okay.
Really? I hadn't thought of that. So thumbs up from you. You're really enjoying
Yep. Yeah, definitely would recommend it.
Captain Sully Sullenberger, the board game. How many scenarios does it come with?
As I said, I think it's somewhere around 15 or 20, but I believe there's more online that you can basically rearrange the components that are in the box to do additional scenarios. So there's really quite a bit of gameplay in what is really a very small box.
I like looking at it, seeing that it seems to not like sprawl out all over the place and take up the whole table, which kind of gives you the feel of kind of being in a tight claustrophobic cockpit. There's a limited number of places you've got a job to do.
Oh yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
That looks good.